settled in nicely? Right, we'll begin. My name's...
Alfie! Where have you got to?
That's Siddy. She wants me back in the car with her, see? I'll be seeing you.
Here, mind you go back to my stockings with your ring? Ow, stop it! What's that noise? Stop it!
Getting me off the bleeding steering wheel, eh? Alright, I'll get it.
Ow! Oh, I'm sorry, I've got a cramp in my thigh.
How many times do I have to tell you? Be careful where you're putting your legs.
I was going to be helpful.
Well, I can help myself. Here. What time did your old man say he'd be waiting for you at the station, eh?
Oh, never mind him.
That's exactly who I am going to mind. Never spoil a good thing. That's just what you women can't get into your nuts. Come on. Enough's as good as a feast.
You soon changed your tune.
Well, that all put me off. I hate a dinner at a time like that.
Here, never mind your napkin.
Yeah, better not, eh?
You know what I thought when you first put your napkin over your shoulder?
What?
I thought you were going to take your fiddle out and play it.
Here. Don't catch cold, eh? A married woman, see? They're every one of them in need of a good laugh. Of course. Never strikes their husbands. I always say, if you make a married woman laugh, you're halfway there with her. Of course. That don't work with a single bird. You get one of those laughing, you won't get nothing else. You never can get this makeup off, Blue Serge. It don't half stick. All that pancake mix ruins the lapel, see? Makes it shine. Here, I'll get that. You know what? It was dead glum when I met him tonight. I listened to all his problems, then I got it laughing. It'll go him happy. You know what? I reckon I've done this old man a real good turn. Of course, I have a job making him see that. All right, girl?
Yeah. You alright?
Not bad. Yeah. What about next Wednesday, eh?
Same time, same place. Suits me.
You know what? I reckon we should change our rendezvous, just in case he chances to follow you.
He would never think of following me.
Now, that's a mistake all you married women make. You think just because he was clotted enough to marry you, he won't see nothing. But where'd you tell him you were going tonight, eh?
I told him I was going to the pictures with Olive.
What pictures?
Just the pictures.
Never be vague like that. That plants suspicion, see? No wonder there's all this broken marriage and divorce about.
Suspicion? It would never occur to that husband of mine that any other man would want to take me out.
See what you mean, eh? Here, suck your sweet silly, so we don't smell the gin, eh?
I don't care if he does smell it.
Now, don't be like that, girl. Be human. Me and you's having a good time, ain't we? So why do you want to go and hurt that poor geezer? He's done us no harm.
Stop preaching.
I'm not. But why can't you let him be happy in his ignorance, eh? What's wrong with that?
All right, all right.
That's better. Now you go home and amuse him, see?
Why the hell should I amuse him?
Ain't
Maybe
you got no
yourself.
heart, Siddy?
I've got feelings.
Well, forget him for once. And you go home and be really nice to him. Like you have been to me, eh?
You want to see everybody happy, eh?
Well, I don't believe in making anybody unhappy. Or making an enemy. You could be crossing the Sahara Desert and he'd just be the geezer you'd run into. Anyway, I don't see why the husband can't have a good time at all.
So long as you don't have to give it to him.
Oh, what if I was built that way? Now go on, you better be off. He'll be waiting.
Aren't you seeing me to the platform?
Better not, eh? We might be seen.
Same time, same place next week.
I'll call you at work. Here. And don't you wear that tight skirt again, eh?
I won't. I'll wear my skin tight slacks instead.
Here. The first time I took Siddy out, I says to her, "What you having?" She says, "I'll have a vodka and lime." So I goes up to the bar and comes back with 2 light ales. She looks at them and says, "Here, but I'm a vodka and lime drinker." I says, "That may well be, but I ain't a vodka and lime bar, you know what I mean?" If you want a vodka and lime, you go get yourself one. Now, it was touch and go for a minute. But then she saw where she stood, see? She drank her light ale, and after that, we got on beautifully. Most birds don't mind paying. What they don't like is being under obligation, see? Here. What she don't know is that we won't be seeing much more of her. She's on her way out. Now, when a married bird gets taught on, that's the time to cool off. The next thing, she'll want to introduce us to each other. I can see it coming. Now, once I met the husband, he didn't have to put me off the wife. If I'd met him, I wouldn't think of him. But once you meet and talk, like as not, he'll turn out to be a real good sport. Such is my hearted. And then as I'm having it off with her, I keep thinking of him, see, hanging up his drip dry shirts, taking a bleeding dog for a walk, or arguing in the pub about Chelsea or cricket or something. You get a lot of that, see, Chelsea supporters. Now I've got to go off and visit a little bird called Gilda. She ain't exactly stupid, but she's a bit on the simple side. I mean, she can never be a number one. She ain't the sort of bird you can show off, and she ain't an exciting dresser. But she's a cracking little standby. And for another thing, she ain't a liberty taker. Most birds go mad to get hold of a bloke, and the first thing they think of is how to go about changing him. Now I told Gilda from the start, I said I ain't marrying Saul. You know what? She don't mind. She never tries to put a block on me. She lets me do what I want, have what I want, and be as I am. Of course, that might be another way to have her putting a block on you. But she's a standby, and she knows it. And any bird that knows its place in life can be quite content.
Oh, did you forget your key? Oh, it's you, Humphrey.
Yes, sorry for calling so late.
Oh, I'm expecting Alfie any minute.
He does what he wants, does he?
We'll still do what he wants. Anyway, I wouldn't want to change him.
Here, I brought you some chocolates.
You shouldn't have.
Gilda, please forgive me for coming round.
It's all right.
It's just the way I've been feeling lately. I can't get you out of my head. It's just...
Try not to lose heart, Humphrey. You'll come right, you'll find someone.
It's not like love, it's like madness. I have all this loneliness and longing for you inside. I can't bear it. I just had to see you. I guess I best be off then.
Oh, shall I make you a cup of tea? I've got the kettle on. Try not to lose heart, Humphrey. You never know what happens. You'll find someone.
Problem is, I can only think of you.
Alfie?
Who the bleed no else would it be, eh? God, and half a pong in here.
Oh, it's called Nana. The scent of Araby. Don't you like it?
Nah. I like everything the smell as it is, natural. Know what I mean? That's a mistake you women make, covering up the scent with the smell. And more often than not, the normal bloke prefers the smell to the scent. See what I mean?
I was just going to make some coffee, Alfie.
Never shove things on me like that, girl. I like to get my bearings first. I've just had a few beers. Wait till they go down, eh?
Have you had a good time, Alfie?
Not bad, not bad at all.
Have you been with your mates?
I've had a few beers, what's up?
I thought I could smell Chanel number 5.
Eh? Nah. My aftershave lotion. Got a feminine touch, see?
I see.
Thought I saw that geezer Alfie going off.
Where was it? We only stayed a minute.
Here. You ain't having it off with him, are you?
Couldn't bear another man to kiss me since I known you.
Just wondering. So what did he stop by for then? Just to give you them chocolates?
No. To tell me you love me.
Get off!
It's true.
Human beings are funny, aren't they?
Do you love me, Alfie?
Let's just say, I like you a lot, eh? I will have that coffee after all.
I'm not for a minute.
get a bit previous. Here. Is today the 22nd?
Yeah, I think so. Why?
Well, shouldn't our little friend have arrived on the 19th?
Don't worry. He'll turn up.
Well, I don't like it when he's overdue. He's always so punctual. How's things at the cafe?
Do you know, I took over £52 on the till today. Isn't that wonderful?
What's wonderful about it? It ain't as if it were your money, is it?
Well, no, but I like to know they're doing all right, and it keeps you busy.
And it's only started that fiddle I told you about, playing piano on the old till.
I couldn't do that, Alfie.
Must be the only till in London that ain't bent.
Luigi and his wife treat me like one of the family.
Well, that's all the more reason to do them.
I'm happy as I am, Alfie.
You could still be happy with a few £100 in the bank, instead of tuppence halfpenny.
Have a chocolate, Alfie.
You worry me, girl.
Me? Well, how come?
If you don't turn over a new leaf, you'll end up dead rough.
How come?
Or you think you're honest. But in fact, you're idle. Mentally idle.
But Alfie,
Now, what if I'd have been like that, eh? Wouldn't have needed no car, would I? So as every night, I'd have had to catch the bleeding last bus instead of staying on here with you.
But I'd still be just as happy with you, Alfie, if you had no car.
If you say you're happy again, girl, I'll begin to doubt it. Straight up I will.
Money isn't everything, Alfie.
Well, it's only people who ain't got none talk like that, ain't it?
I'm not ashamed. I owe nothing.
But what you've got to realise is that nobody don't help you in this life. You've got to help yourself. Why, if you only fiddled $1 a day, you'd have 200 nickets to your name by now.
I'll be all right, Alfie.
You won't, girl. Not unless you turn over a new leaf. Here, I've had a fiddle on every job I've ever done. Because a fiddle gives you an interest in your work, see? And I believe everyone should take interest in their work. An interest keeps you young. Of course, there's a right and wrong way of going about it. Never be too happy on a job if you're doing a fiddle.
Yes, Alfie.
Here. I was on a nice little fiddle a short time back, driving for one of these supermarket firms, see? Now the loader, he'd let me an extra crate of canned salmon on, I'd sell it to the manager and share the bunch with the loader. Now one day we were loading up, and I was whistling the rails, and I catch the manager's eye on me. He says, "You sound cheerful, Elkins." I tumbled at once. I never should have whistled. I said, "Yes, some mornings I feel quite chirpy." He says, "You can't be feeling all that chirpy on what I'm paying you. You must be working a nice little fiddle." I said, "That's defamation of character, mate. I'll have to see my union." "Don't come it, Elkins. How do you think I got where I am?" "I'm satisfied," he says. "So long as you do your job well and don't get too greedy, or else you'll kill the goose." Now, I was quite glad of that little tip.
That you, Alfie?
Who the bleed know else could it be, eh?
You never know.
Well, any news?
No, not yet.
We'll have to do something about this little lot.
I've tried everything under the sun, Alfie.
You mean you've been taking stuff on the quiet? Why didn't you tell me, girl?
I didn't want to worry you.
I wondered why you're looking so ropey. You don't want to make yourself ill, you know. You're half getting cooey lately.
I'm sorry, Alfie.
It's all right, except I don't want you to spring it on me, see? I might not be in the mood.
Do you love me, Alfie?
What can I say when you ask, eh? You shouldn't ask, you know. I'll tell you when I feel like it.
I'll make the coffee.
You ain't half changing lately.
Me? How do you mean?
Well, it's as if I've got to take notice of you instead of you and me. I can't explain it, but I can feel it.
Alfie,
What?
I've been thinking. Could we go through with it?
Blimey, go through with it! What an horrible thought!
Well, don't worry, Alfie.
I mean, I ain't never gone through with nothing in my life. I ain't in no condition for getting itched up,
Oh,
you
you
know.
don't need to.
I mean, if I were to marry you, you might gain husband, but you'd lose a bleeding good friend, you know.
But I've got it all worked out.
I don't know what you got worked out, girl, but you got to think before you turn a little creature out into this world.
But I wouldn't turn him out. I'd get him adopted. Adopted?
What the bleeding hell do you mean adopted, eh?
By a rich woman, see? They're always on the lookout.
I see what you mean, but...
I'd like to do that much for him. I know he'd be all right then.
Yeah. But you can't even be certain that there's anything there yet, can you?
Thought I felt him kick, Alfie.
Kick? How the bleeding hell can it kick? It won't be the size of my thumbnail!
Well, that's what they say. I'll tell you next time it happens and you can feel.
Yeah, you'll do nothing of the sort. And if you keep up with this sort of talk, I'm off.
I'm sorry, Alfie.
Then I'll get on my wick.
I didn't mean to upset you.
You don't want to always give way to your impulses like that, girl, because stuff that women find quite normal, like as not, a bloke will find a bit sickening.
Mrs. Artoni always used to call her husband when she was like that, when it kicked.
Well, Mrs. Artoni, she can call whoever she bleeding well likes so long as she don't call me.
I wasn't thinking.
What you don't realise is men are more sensitive than women. Here, do you remember that big girl who used to dance a bit of Locarno on a Sunday? Well, one time she showed me her operation scar, see? What they made her when she was a kid. It was a long white thing, it was, with skin all around it. I jumped straight out of bed and put my clobber on. Where are you going, she said. I said I'd rather go out and see a bleeding horror film than a thing like that. Hey, don't half put me off.
Alfie,
What?
can I?
Can you what, eh?
Can I go through with it? You know, go ahead and have the baby.
What you asking me for? It's yours, ain't it? Nobody can stop you. Steady on, girl, eh? Don't go breaking your bleeding heart. Here. If there's ever anything you want to do in life, and you think it's right, you do it. To hell with them. Yeah, my mile of power, eh? Sit yourself down. Here. You ain't trying to come it on me, are you? Trying to swing it?
So what?
Swing your old filitation order. 2 nicker a week until you're 16.
I think you know me better than that, Alfie.
I'll take your word for it. What got me was the way she asked me if she could have the child. As if I were a savage, I might have murdered the poor kid or something. After all, what can I have against him? He done me no harm. Anyway, she was quite happy the month she was carrying. What to my mind was a bit out of touch, her not being married, see? But it seems to bring out new strength with women, anything like that. And she come over quite beautified for a time. I told her. I said, blimey girl, you ain't as ugly as I thought. Except I didn't fancy being seen out with her, like, not a woman in that condition. Well, in she goes to hospital to have it, see? And I weren't there at the time, so I didn't know till they told me. But by all accounts, the kid comes out a tree. Right bang in a minute, you might say. And he's a real bouncer too, see? A spitting image of me. The nurses went crazy about him. But to be quite frank, I felt quite pleased with myself. Except I didn't fancy it when they give it the old smile for daddy lark and all of that. I don't know why, it just makes me feel uncomfortable. Well, out she comes of hospital, see? And comes home with that child, who she set her heart on calling Malcolm. Although I tells her, he'll never forgive you for giving him a bleeding animal like that. And there she is, just finished feeding him.
How I wonder what you... Oh, hello, Alfie. He's just going off.
He's got milk all around his chops.
He's ever so greedy, like his dad.
Yeah. I expect he knows what he likes, eh?
Hasn't he got big?
He's beginning to look quite human.
I think he's fast asleep now.
Wait. Now you forgot to kiss me.
Did I?
Smell a bit milkified, girl.
Sorry, Alfie, I'll have a wash.
No, it's alright. I don't mind. Smells mumsy. Here. How long have you been keeping him on that breastfeeding cab, right?
As long as I can, Alfie. It's the best thing for him.
Well, you just want to watch you don't get too attached to each other, see?
I'm his mother. It's only natural.
And I'm his father. But you've got to think of him. And what about this rich woman, eh?
What rich woman?
The rich woman you said you would get him adopted to.
Oh, I don't know about that, Alfie.
So he'd have a fair chance in life.
I'll have to think it over. I can't rush into it.
Well, you better make your mind up one way or another. And quick.
Why? Why should I?
Because he might get drawn more and more to you. That he'll freeze their light out when they take him away.
Who says they're going to take
That's
him
what
away?
you said. You said you'd get him adopted to a rich woman.
Never.
You did.
It's a long time ago.
I thought as much. And I might have known. Do you know what you've had? You've had a change of heart.
I don't care what I've had. I'm his mum.
Lying there in that hospital must have brought it on. I could see your face changing. Coming over all mumsy it was.
I'm not ashamed of it.
Ah, but you've got to think of him, Gilda. You could never give him the things this rich woman could give him.
We'll see. I'm going back to work next week.
She could really look after him, this rich woman. She could dress him handsome and feed him beautiful.
Who says I can't dress him? Look at that shawl and that cot cover. And I've got lots of lovely things for him in the drawer.
Here. But you can't learn him to talk nice, can you? No, not proper you can't.
Can if I try hard.
Not proper you couldn't. Before you know it, he'd be bleeding this, bleeding that, and perhaps
I
worse.
won't let him.
Who's going to look after him when you're back working at the cafe?
I'm not going back to the cafe.
Oh, I thought as much. They got somebody in your place.
I'm going working at the brewery.
And you said they looked on you as a daughter, and you wouldn't fiddle them. You could have had 200 quid to your name.
It's a better paid job at the brewery.
You said they looked on you as a member of the family, and it'd make you ill to fiddle them. It'll make you ill working all day at that bleeding brewery. When will you learn some sense, Gilda?
Let's not row, Alfie.
I'm not rowing. I'm only asking you to listen to me, eh? Who's going to look after him when you're at this brewery?
When we call Mrs. Tippett, she'll have him from Monday morning till Friday tea time. She's got 4 kids of her own. That way I don't have to disturb him every morning, and I'll have him all the weekend.
You'll never be able to look after him like this rich woman could.
Child needs love, Alfie, and I can give him that.
Love! A child needs a bleeding lot more than love if he wants to get on in life. Yeah, I wish my mum would have got me adopted to a rich woman when I was a kid. It'd have made my lot a bleeding sight easier. I wouldn't be driving no lorry around, would I? And what about me, eh? You don't think I'm spending my weekends dodging under wet nappies, do you?
Won't leave us, Alfie. Not now.
I'll have to think about it.
Alfie, I won't never ask you for nothing. Not a farthing. Don't leave
Nah,
us. If
come
you
on.
do, I'll...
I ain't said I'd leave you, have I just felt I had to speak up because I don't think you're doing right by kicking that cop.
I will, Alfie. I swear to you. I'll never, ever neglect him.
That might be. But you still can't look after him like this rich woman
And
could.
I'll make it up to you too. You'll never be sorry.
You ain't going to make anything up to me, girl. I'm not pouncing off you.
Don't leave us, Alfie. Say you won't. Promise. Promise.
Let go. Don't ruckle my sleeve, eh? I ain't a savage, you know. I ain't going to scarp her. But don't you start crying for either, or I'll belt you one for sure. I don't feel up to it. Don't jump him at once. It won't do, eh? You'll get drawn more and more to him that he won't even go to this Mrs. Tippett next. Come on, Malcolm. You've had your turn, mate. Well, I'll give you something to cry about. Shh, 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 shh. All he needed was a father's voice, see? He's got a hard life ahead of him. Don't you go giving him the wrong impression at the start. I wish someone would have told me what life would have been like.
I'll not be a minute. You just need to know I'm there.
The mistake I made with Gilda was getting involved, see? I was having a beautiful little life. There was this young fat bird at the Dials I was having it off with. Then there was this manageress of a dry cleaners. I used to get the suit cleaning for the bargain. You can't turn something like that down, can you? So why I had to get involved with this Gilda, I don't know. I couldn't make her see sense, see? I says, you're working your bleeding guts out all day at that brewery, then you're handing 3 knicker a week over this Mrs. Tippett, who'll definitely bring that kid up rough, same as her own. Then you can't go out because you're tied to this place, when all the time you could have had this rich woman, who would have dressed him handsome, and fed him beautiful, and it wouldn't have cost you a single penny, see? In fact, you might have got something out of it, if you see what I mean. And he wouldn't have known she weren't his real mum. But I want him to know I'm his real mum, she says, to this rich woman. Anyway, having said that, I'll go round to Gilda's on a Saturday and stay over more often than not, if I ain't got something on. Now, when she's out, I play quite a lot of games with him, and on a Sunday, I'll pick him up a toy or two from the lanes. He liked anything like that. And the funny thing about this kid Malcolm is, I could never get used to his moniker. Although I never told her, I thought it would have been quite nice if she'd have called him Alfie, after me. Now, I quite enjoyed my little bout of family knife, every weekend, which is about as much as any bloke can want, come I think of it. But your life ain't your bleeding home when you got a kid wrapped up in it. I'd only ever seen kids out with their mums, see, who you'd as soon kick him up the arse as look at them. But if you get a kid on his own, it's a different matter entirely. Especially if you chance to be his dad. You see what I mean? Now soon I found I'm getting attached to him. Now that's something I always like to watch out for. Because as soon as you're attached to something, sooner or later, that's going to bring you some pain, see? So if a bird ain't got you one way, they've got you another. Although she may be ugly as sin, something quite beautiful can come out of her.
Sorry, mate.
It's all right.
We had trouble on the Route 11. Here. I brought you some fruit.
Oh, thanks.
Never had the rain they promised us then.
Oh, no, we didn't, did we?
It's that ring I told you about last Tuesday.
Can I see? Oh, isn't it a weight?
It's like I told you. It was my mother's.
You don't see rings like that anymore.
Nah. Don't make them like the good old days, do they?
It feels so solid.
Yeah, 22 carat.
Can I try it on?
Yeah, go on. No, don't. Sorry.
What's the matter?
They say it's bad luck. Unlucky like. Well, that's what I hear. Once you put a wedding ring on, you should never take it off. I don't know how true it is.
Humphrey, how would you feel if you were bringing up another man's son?
Do you mean like little Malcolm, do you? I'd be honoured. I'd treat him like my son. That's how I'd feel. And then once we were married, I'd be a proper father to him, you see.
Well, I better be going.
Well, will you think about it, please?
Here's your ring.
I'll see you next Tuesday. Say lunchtime then.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Cheerio then.
Now then, Malcolm, that's enough of that, mate. Don't you keep your blankets off, you've got to go to sleep, mate. What a lad he is, eh? You know what? He could hardly keep his eyes open, but he wouldn't give him 1 minute wide awake, the next fast asleep. Even out like that. He's going to be a real handful in a few months' time. Ian, wait till he sees that teddy I bought him. It's a real rich kid's teddy, it is. Ever so soft. Do you fancy an house kit, girl? Cloth ears. I'm talking to you.
Alfie's been to see me twice this week.
Oh, what's he after? A bit on the side, is he?
Nothing like that. We only talked.
Well, don't bleeding well tell me, because I don't want to know, alright? There's nothing I can't stand more than a bloke and a bird's innocent talks. You know what? I think he's more intimate than the other. What's he after then, eh?
He wants me to marry him.
And what did you say?
I didn't say anything.
You must have told him something.
I said I'd have to talk it over with you first.
What you got to talk it over with me for? You're a free agent, ain't you?
Malcolm needs a father.
And what am I?
I don't mean just a weekend father, I mean a proper father.
Well, we all need proper fathers, don't we? And proper bleeding mothers come to that. It seems as if there ain't enough to go around these days.
I'm not getting any younger, Alfie.
Oh, don't talk to me about it. I couldn't care about that sort of thing.
I don't love him.
Well, don't talk to me about love either. I don't know what love is the way you birds talk about it.
But I do respect him.
You'd better marry him then, eh? You've got a little bastard there to think of. There's your key. I'll be seeing you. Maybe.
Alfie!
I couldn't care no more fly in the air about that sort of thing. I mean, when a bloke starts worrying about a bird he's split up with, there's a waste of time for you. You've got to get out and enjoy yourself. You know where I'm off? Brighton races, see? I'm driving a party of publicans down. We've got a nice big hamper for the job. There'll be plenty of drops, see? I ain't got to pick 'em up till 11, so I'm just going to nip to the chest clinic. Something to do with these mass x-rays, see? All red tape, if you ask me.
Good morning, Mr. Elkins.
Yeah, that's me.
Do take a seat.
I ain't got that much time today, but I can pop back tomorrow.
No, I'd rather see you today. Did your doctor explain to you why you were here?
Yeah, something to do with these mass x-rays I've done at Wimbledon, eh? What happened? Didn't the negative turn out right?
Yes, we wanted to do a checkup.
I see. I don't love him, she said, but I do respect him. I mean, I don't want no bird's respect. I wouldn't know what to do with it.
Let me take your temperature. No. Under your tongue.
She's told me time and time again she loves me. Loves me for myself, whatever that means. But I ain't never told her I love her. Except at them times, you've got to say something. For appearance's sake, you know what I mean? Yeah, the funny thing about love, the way it has her going off like yesterday's milk. I mean, if it ain't kept to the right temperature.
How did you come here?
How? I walked here. Why?
Were you tired when you arrived?
Tired? It's only 5 minutes across the bridge. Of course I weren't. Although, I'm not all that used to walking. I've got a car, see?
Have you lost any weight recently?
Nah, I'm always 11.6.
Step on the scales, please.
I ain't got that much time today. It's the way I've been for years. I've always stuck to my side of the bargain in my fashion, but a bird will never stick to its. Once it turns, you've had it. You're out in the bleeding cold.
10 stone 9 pounds.
Get off! How much? Here, and them scales right? Of course. This suit don't weigh nothing. 13 ounce. Lightweight, see? 7 line and worsted. Come to think of it, these trousers are a bit baggy round the waist. Well, it's only 10 under, isn't it?
11.
That ain't all that much. People do anything to lose weight nowadays. Of course. There's one thing I don't ever do with a woman.
Can you take your shirt off, please?
I don't ever quarter one. They've got to take me as I am, or not at all. Know what I mean?
Do you perspire?
mean, do you sweat much?
Sweat? No. Well, I did sweat a lot last Sunday, but I was at the Locarno, twisting, see? And I'd had some beer, so I guess anybody would sweat then. I suppose I sweat like a normal bloke in a normal way, see? Although, I use the deodorant under the armpits. Just rub it on. Quite good there.
And do you sweat at nights?
At nights, I should think nearly everybody sweats at nights one way or another. Do you mean in bed?
Yes, in bed.
Well, all depends on the blankets you got, doesn't it? Come to think of it, I did sweat a lot last night and I couldn't for the life of me understand why. I guess the weather come over all lot. I had to kick the idler down. I was covered in sweat.
Stand up for me, please. Turn away from me. Take a nice deep breath in. And out again.
3 days later, I got a letter from her.
Another one. Good deep one. Hold it. And out again.
She's only decided to marry this Humphrey geezer.
Say 99.
99. I'll be alright, because I'll be able to stay home and look after Malcolm, she says.
Again.
99. But what about you, Alfie? Won't you miss us?
Again, whisper it this time.
99. You know what? I come over dead choked when I read that bit. Of course, I managed before I ever met her.
Do you suffer from any back pain?
Pain? Nah. And I'll manage after she's gone. Cool! Blimey, girl, come to think of it, there was a bit of pain there.
Where? There?
No, a bit higher.
There.
Yeah, that's it.
Is it tender?
It is when you poke and prod it and messing about. Ain't so bad if you leave it alone.
Do you find you cough much?
Cough? Nah, not much. Well, I cough at mornings, but everybody do after the first fag. You know what? I find I'm missing her, so I'll stick it out to the next weekend, then I go around to see her.
And when you cough, do you bring anything up?
Nah, not much. Well, that's the point of coughing, ain't it? To bring something up, give the tubes a good old clearing out.
Take another deep breath in for me.
You know what? She wouldn't let me in. Kept me at the door, she did. It was little Malcolm. He must have heard.
And out again. Face away from me, please, when you're breathing out.
Right.
Take another deep breath in.
He was screaming daddy, so she had to let me in.
And out again. 99.
100.
What?
99.
Breathe in once more.
You know what? She wouldn't let me touch her. Drew back she did. First time ever.
And out again. You can put your shirt back on now.
Thanks. That's the thing. I've never done refuse a woman. Not if I were on my deathbed. I mean, I've had my share of ugly birds. And some getting on in years. Right old boilies, you might say. But I never said no. I always sent them home happy, if you know what I mean. I got the code of honesty. But birds don't know the meaning of the word. Once it turns, you've had it. You're out in the bleeding cold. Drew back she did. I'm sorry, Alfie, she says, but I'm going to play fair by Humphrey, the same way I always played fair by you. What a bleeding sauce, eh? Well, I've only got to take my son from me.
How do you feel, Mr. Elkins?
Never felt better in all my life. You know what? There are still times when I think I can still hear him calling Daddy after me. I mean, I felt good when I was walking here this morning, in the sunshine and that. My mum was on Brighton races, see? But come to think of it, I do feel a bit duff this minute.
Have you been worrying about anything lately?
Who? Me? Worry? Nah, ain't a worrying sort, see? Do you know what? There are still times when I feel I can really hear him calling Daddy after me. I mean, we've all got some worry or another. You ain't alive unless you ain't worried about something or another. Of course, you don't know how to do it.
Do you find yourself getting more irritable lately?
You know what? I do seem to be doing my nut very easy these days.
Do you sleep well?
Like a top. My head no sooner hits the pillow, and then I'm out. I never wake up until...
Until when?
Well, I never used to wake up until it was time to get up, if you see what I mean.
I think so, and now?
Well, I keep waking up, same time every morning, 4 o'clock. That's no matter how much I've had to drink. Can I be frank?
Certainly.
No matter who's beside me, if you see what I mean.
Yes, I understand.
I never have been partial to these all-night sessions. Because for one thing, I've rarely met a woman. You don't mind if I come out of it, do you?
You can tell me anything.
Very few birds can get into my rhythm of sleeping. And I don't like their breaths if they've been smoking and that. I mean, the things you overlook in love can come out quite sharp during the night, see what I mean?
I see.
And then I find I'm there, staring up at the ceiling, thinking about this child I used to know. I was friendly with his mother, see? She was nothing special, just an ordinary girl. But I knew the child well.
I'm afraid there's something I must tell you.
Now all I wanted was for her to come back so we could spend our Sundays together. But she never did, do you understand?
Yes, perfectly, but I mustn't.
Now with a bird it's different, you can always replace her, see? But if you lose a child, they've each one got their own little nature. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, Mr. Elkins, there's something I must
They
tell
can't
you.
get away from it, he's my son.
Look at this.
He's come out of these loins, as they say. Well, what have you got to tell me?
Look at this. You have 2 dark shadows on your lungs.
Shadows on my lungs? What you talking about, shadows on my lungs? What kind of shadows, eh?
2 dark spots. There's an infection in
An
there.
infection? Here, but I ain't been with nobody.
Now you mustn't worry.
Blimey, is that not supposed to be me?
Yes.
I ain't never got a load of ribs. You've got to do something about this, Doc.
Now you mustn't worry.
Worry? I've got something to worry about. What about these spots, this infection, these shadows, eh?
Look, there and there, do you see?
You mean that great dark mark?
That's right.
Blimey. Here, this is serious. If it's a question of money,
It's not.
I mean, I can rustle the money up. I want the best attention there is, I do.
It's a question of rest. There's nothing in here that can't be cured by rest.
Rest? I'm off to Brighton Races with a party of licentious victuallers. It's been booked in advance. We're on for a real good blowout.
Well, it'll have to be unbooked. You need rest down in the quiet of the country.
I hate the country. How can you rest with that bleeding dawn chorus, eh?
What's the matter?
Hey?
What's the matter?
Oh, my feet feel like lead. There's sweat pouring out of me, see?
Mr. Elkins, they're only shadows.
On my lungs! This has been a bleeding end to me. Oh, Christ in heaven, hell! Here. Once you know you ain't gonna die, it's funny how quick you pull back to normal. But it don't half change your way of thinking being in a place like this, next to death's door. I recommend for anybody to get a bit close to death. Not too close, mind. It ain't comfortable. I used to think money was everything. If you had money, I used to think you could have handsome suits, beautiful birds, your own car. But now, all them things ain't a bleeding bit of use without your good health. You see this chap here? That's Harry Clammercraft. He's married with 3 kids, see? Now he's sitting there waiting for his wife Lily to visit him. It's the only thing he's been thinking about since last Sunday. And I know for sure she'll be late. In a minute, he'll pick up that book of his, pretend he's reading it and he's not worried. Now he was working till 10 o'clock every night, see? So that little family of his could make the payments on their own. And his governor a small fortune in for a bargain. Not to mention paying his own share of income tax to help the old country. Now he's been worrying that much about that family of his that I'm beginning to wonder if he'll ever make it out of here alive. I must have a serious talk with him.
Visitors may now go in.
What did I tell you, eh? Now he's no more reading than I am. He's all ears, see? Listening out for her footsteps. You get to know every single one, see? I ain't had a single visitor since I've been here. I told them all. The doctor's put me on silent. I'm not allowed to speak. You get dependent on them coming soon. Now they turn up with their flowers and biscuits and whatnot and tell you how well you're looking. But after 5 minutes they're dying for the bleeding bell so they can get away. I've seen them. And then they're no sooner out the door and they say to each other, "Cool. Did you see old Ned? Didn't he look rough? I didn't like the look in his eyes and all that caper." I've seen them. Keep their insurance policies dusted off. In a minute he'll keep checking that watch of his. But if I were to ask him, I bet you he couldn't tell me the time. Here, Harry. Harry,
Hey, what?
what time do you make it?
Hey?
Time.
Oh, 2:15. No. It's nearly 2:10. Yeah, that's it. No, I'm not sure I'm right.
How go, Joe?
Hello, mate.
How's things?
What, you know,
The old stomach playing you up?
we're playing one another up.
You visiting old hard battle?
Yeah, bought him some apples.
But he ain't got any teeth.
Oh, no, that's why I bought them.
You ain't too fond of each other, you and that geezer, are you?
No, we never did like each other.
Well, what you bother coming for then?
Well, it gets back to the house for one thing.
I see.
It does me good to see that old basket lying on his back and I'm still on my feet.
Here, this is a case for you. Old Joe Holland here, taxi driver. Been retired 12 months. Worked all the hours God sent, didn't you, Joe?
Yeah, never had time for a proper meal. Like to keep the wheels turning. Never want an holiday or nothing.
Well, how was that, mate?
Saving up, see? Got into my head I'd like to retire early. Told the missus we'd buy a little bungalow down on the coast at Peacehaven once the kids were off our hands. She always wanted to go on holiday, but I kept saying hold us back. Didn't like breaking into big capital, see? Because the more you have, the more you want. Money's like a drug. And the ambition kept me going.
And what happened, mate?
Well, like I said, I got a few thousand stacked away in the post office, bills societies, Y2 plus with inland revenue can't get their hands on it. Then one Sunday dinner time, the poor old Mrs goes and kicks the bucket. Artsy.
Get off.
Yeah, I didn't know I'd miss her. We weren't that fond of one another, but we were very close. Having turned 60, see, I was finding the daytime driving a bit dodgy. All the Bibles one-way streets, so I decided to go on nights. I hadn't been sleeping that well without her, see. She used to put her legs over mine. Bit uncomfortable at first, but I got used to it. Oh, I miss them legs. Anyway, I'm driving at nights, but then my eyesight gets a bit dodgy. And with all the bleeding Ted's about, I decided to pack the whole thing in. I ain't short of money, see.
You're on a soft number, mate.
My bleeding ain't. It's horrible being retired. You don't know what to do with yourself. I can name every picture that's on in London.
Don't you like a drink, Joe?
Still won't take it. All the meals I missed, all the fumes I swallowed.
Here. I understood you took one of them 8-day coach trips to Paris.
Here. Came back on the second day by train.
Did you like Paris, Joe?
Couldn't get this out of mine, see. Kept thinking how she always wanted to go on holiday, and I never took her on holiday. So she didn't have my shoulder all the time.
That's called remorse, mate. That's what you've had.
Yeah, that's it. We've done her wrong, what can't be put right.
So if they ain't got you when they're alive, they've got you when they're bleeding dead. And you never thought of going to live at the seaside?
But on my own, hadn't you seen those places in winter? Another thing, I get worried about who'll get all my money if I never wake up.
Here. Harry's old woman. Look, he's sitting there pretending he ain't noticed she's late. Hello, missus. Now she's 20 minutes late. She'll spend another 20 explaining now.
Oh, I'm ever so sorry I'm late, Harry.
Oh, that's all right. Now you've come.
Well, I couldn't help it. I started from home early enough.
Don't worry.
Everything went wrong at the station. You look worried.
Oh, I was only worried something might have happened to you.
Well, I helped an old lady off with her luggage, and then I couldn't get on the first coach out here.
Well, you should have took a taxi.
It's 5 shillings. But I kept telling myself I should do. But by the time I went to get it, somebody else had got there first. And I kept thinking about how worried you were.
Oh, I don't mind. It's just I was worried something that might have happened to you. You know how you are.
What did I tell you, eh?
Eh?
Here. Ain't you got any kids you can leave your money to?
Well, I've got a son, but he's a bleeding spendthrift and a tearaway. He'll get through that lot of dogs and women in no time.
Dogs? Don't leave him nothing, mate.
Also got a daughter. Lovely girl she is.
Well, what about her then, Joe?
Well, she went and married one of these bleeding Cypriots. I want to see it. Don't lay his hands on a penny of it. I haven't worked for over 40 years for him to get the benefit of it.
Well, we've all got our problems, ain't we, mate? Here. Why don't you leave it to Batsy Cat's home, man?
I would and all, but I've never cared for bleeding cats either.
There's your new laid eggs. There's your biscuits. There's your marmalade.
Bleeding great chunks of peel in it. No wonder he don't get well.
And there's your calf's foot jelly.
Oh, Tar. Oh, thanks very much. These come in handy. Shouldn't have bothered, you know.
What did the doctor say? Is he satisfied with you?
He's the as like.
He says, I'm not doing too badly. I might soon be an up case.
Nutcase? What a bleeding nutcase, mate.
Oh dear.
Did that bloke come back to smell at the bottom of the garden?
Yes. He thinks it might be trouble with the main drains.
When's he coming to do it?
He promised me Tuesday morning for certain.
He's only bleeding worried about the drains now. I'll have
Yeah,
a serious word with him.
How were your last
No.
X-rays?
I think they must be improving. Here, when he's there, ask him to have a look at that loose gutter. You know, because it might fall on you other kids one day.
Kill the bleeding lot of you.
Yes, I will. Was your sputum test all right?
Oh, they're still waiting for the results. Here, are you managing all right? I mean, can you keep going?
Oh, yes, that's all right. Yes, everything's going fine.
I mean about money.
Yes, I tell you, we're all right.
Are you sure?
Yes, certain.
Here, did my mother come round?
Oh, yes.
And was everything all right?
Well, she seemed a bit put out because I hadn't made the kids a big cook dinner.
Oh yeah, she's mad about Sunday dinners.
I suppose she means well.
They're trying to get through to each other, see? But it ain't easy with their sort of mentality.
No, something. I envy him.
Envy him.
Yeah.
You've gone off your rocker, mate.
No, I envy the pair of them.
But she'll be gone in a couple of minutes, and he'll be worrying all week till he sees her again.
Yes, but she's here now and he knows he's going to see her. It gives him something to look forward to. It's when you know you're never going to see someone again in this life. That's when all seems hopeless. Hopeless, bleeding hopeless.
Funny bleeders, human beings. They do need help in this life.
Oh, I mustn't forget, I've got young Phil's letters for you here.
That'd be a letter from his youngest Phil. Nothing but scribbles on a bit of paper. He'll be studying that for hours later. Here. Talking about kids, that reminds me of a dream I had last night. I was walking up this road, see, when all of a sudden, these big round cans started falling from out of the sky. Now, one by one, they started exploding off, see. Now, it weren't so bad until I heard somebody shout it was a hydrogen bomb. Now, all this dust was coming out of them, see. So I ran up to the next street and got down on my hands and knees. I was knocking on this door, see, for him to let me in. Then this chap answers. Standing behind him was a boy of about 3 or 4. Then it dawned on me. It was little Malcolm, see. And just before I went in, I spotted I had some of this dust on my shoulder. Now I knew, if I were to go in, sooner or later that'd kill him. But what could I do, eh? I had to save my bleeding self, didn't I? I did not feel rotten when I woke up. I thought, blimey, Alfie, if you could only get yourself to do something good in your dreams, it wouldn't cost you anything. And you'd get quite a bit of satisfaction from that. I guess it only goes to show, eh? If they ain't got you when they're awake, they've got you when they're asleep. Oh, Nurse Carla, better get in bed, eh?
Look what lovely flowers your wife brought you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, miss, there's one locked for Mr. Elkins.
Right. I'll put them on his locker. Now, don't let me disturb you. I know what it must be like only just seeing each other once a week. Carry on as though I weren't here. Some flowers for you, Mr. Elkins.
Oh, lovely. Thank you very much.
I've got a jar of marmalade for you here.
Homemade marmalade. Marvellous.
I'll get you ready for your injection.
Should I peel you an orange?
Oh yeah, did them bulbs come up that I planted last back then?
Yes. They're sprouting all over the place.
Get off. Oh, well, how was Rover's ear when you took him to the vet?
Oh, didn't I tell you in my letter? He got a big seed stuck in it. Oh, it was the young vet. He had a heck of a job getting it out. Do you know he's got 5 children?
I didn't even know he was married. Hey, what was it you were saying about Shirley? In your letter, you said you'd tell me.
I caught her with some lipstick on.
Not little Shirley.
I pretended to be shocked, but do you know I had to laugh about it? It was all over her face.
You'll have to keep your eye on her. How's young Phil?
Oh, I can't tell you how much he misses you. Do you know he's not the same child? He seems to have gone a lot quieter. This morning he must have woken up early and I could hear him talking away to himself in his cot like he does. He kept scolding you.
Oh, there goes the bell.
I seem to have only just got here.
Don't go yet. Wait for the others to go.
You should have to go, darling, or won't miss the bus.
Nurse will give her injection after tea, Mr. Elkins.
Here, tell sister to send a redhead. The one who's a good darster, alright?
You won't forget to write, will you?
Oh, I shall write you a long letter the first thing in the morning when they've gone to school.
And don't be frightened about putting any little thing in. You know, anything that strikes
I
you.
won't. And write if you need anything special. Okay?
Give my love to Phil.
I will.
And Shirley.
I will. Oh, and see you eat your eggs.
It was nice of your missus to bring you homemade marmalade, eh?
Hey? Oh, yeah, she's not sure if you like it.
It's a bit chunkified, isn't it? I expect you got to chew and chew and chew. Suppose it's good for the old jaws, eh? You know what? These visiting days ain't doing you no good, you know. It takes you a week to get over one. You know how you're going to leave here if you don't change? In your wooden suit, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've got an idea.
You've got to ask yourself, is it worth having your missus coming up here every week? Tell her the doctor's put you on silent. You've got to be cool to be kind, mate.
That's all I lie here and live for, is to see her and talk to her.
You've got to live for yourself in this life, mate, not others. Now, you'd have to do without her if she was knocked over by a bus on the way home now, wouldn't you?
Oh, don't talk like that, Alfie.
I'm just saying, you shouldn't let yourself get attached to anything in this life.
But I love Lily.
Well, it don't do to love something just because you're attached to it, does it? Here, that reminds me of a woman, right? She had this dog she used to wheel about in a pram, see? She had a shawl all the way up to his neck. Now all the neighbours, when they saw her, they'd all walk up to her and say, "Oh, how's Charlie doing this morning?" They all told me how devoted she was to that dog. Devoted. She was devoted to her bleeding self. One day, all of these mongrels started running up and down the street, see? Now this Charlie jumped straight out of the pram and runs off with them. "Stop him," she says. "He'll strain his heart." He was having the bleeding time of his life, that Charlie. She didn't have schooled him when she got hold of him. They all still try and tell me how devoted she was to that dog. She was devoted to her bleeding self. If you're devoted to something, get out its way and let it stand on its own 2 feet, eh?
But what you all sort of don't understand, Alfie, is the bond between husband and wife.
Now, but what I do understand, mate, is human nature. Here, how do you know she ain't got a geezer waiting outside for her, eh?
If you say another word about my missus,
All right,
I'll get out of this bed and knock your bleeding
Settle
in.
down, eh? Don't get aerated. You've got to get yourself better, mate. Now, all I'm saying is that you can never know with a woman where it's been or what it's done. You know what I mean?
Would you mind saying she? You're talking about my missus.
She or it. They're all birds. You know what I mean? You can never know what she or it's up to from 1 minute to the next. They've all got a piece of skin and eyes to cover up what's underneath. Yeah, you've got to start living for yourself in this life, mate, just like I do. They won't keep me in here long.
Alfie, I miss the kids, especially the youngest one.
Is that his letters you were reading? Do you often lie in bed at night wondering what he's up to and all that caper?
Yeah, Alfie, come think of it, I do. How do you know?
I've had experience of that, mate. It's a mistake.
What do you mean?
A bloke should never let too much from outside get inside his suit. You know what I mean? He's got enough to worry about looking after his bleeding self. Now, I don't want to depress you, Harry. But let's just suppose you were to snuff it tonight, eh? You know what I mean?
yeah, I think
Now,
I
that's
think I
better.
do. Go on, mate.
You have a giggle, eh? After all, that's all half is a giggle. Now, after a few months, your missus, she picks up with a new geezer, see? Now, sooner or later, she's going to take him home and introduce him to the kids as Uncle Tom.
No, I don't think Lily would.
Let's suppose she do. She ain't bad, you know. Admittedly, she ain't my cup of tea. But quite a few blokes getting on in life might fancy a nice little wife like that. Kids and all. Ready-made families, say. Now, after a few months, she'll take him home and introduce him as Uncle Tom. Now, I bet them kids get a real kick out of him.
No, not young Phil, he wouldn't.
He'd be the breeding first, mate. He's been dying to see his daddy. Now, if this Uncle Tom, if he wants to make an impression, he's going to take them kids some toys, isn't he?
He won't buy young Phil with toys.
Then your missus will have to start telling all her mates, oh, the kids have got to have a dad, she's got to blame it on the kids, see?
What do you mean?
I mean, that wife and kids you got there, they might go to your grave for the first few months with flowers and whatnot. That's if they don't decide to have you cremated. But now once this Uncle Tom's moved in and they're calling him Dad, that gravy, you want to be a mass of weeds. I mean, if you were to walk into your own home in a few months' time, they'd start running to him and say, Daddy, who's this? Who's this, eh?
No, I'm going to knock your bleeding head in.
All right, Harry, settle down, mate. Come on.
No, you're poisoning my mind, you are.
Oi.
Poisoning my...
Behave yourself, will ya? You've got to get yourself better, mate. Now, all I'm saying is that you've got to see life in chap. See what it is and what it does to you. But once you start living for yourself, see, at least then you'll be able to have a giggle, eh? After all, that's all life is, a giggle.
Boy, Alfie, how about is he? Is he getting better then?
Are you looking for someone?
No, thanks, it's all right.
Oh. I thought you was looking for someone.
I'm waiting for somebody.
Oh, you look at it, though. You was looking for someone.
Oh.
Yeah. What's up?
Hiya, Lofty. You all right, mate?
Is he trying it on?
No, I just thought she was looking for someone. Anyway, I'll be up. I'll see you later.
Anyhow, I thought I'd better bring your suitcase in here with us, miss.
Was it not safe in your lorry?
Yeah, well, you never know here. There's all sorts of villains around these days, isn't there?
Yes, there are.
Now then, what are you going to be doing with yourself in London now you're here?
I'll find something.
I'm not sure. I've been doing you a big favour giving you a lift down here, you know.
Oh, don't worry, I'll be all right.
What about your people back home then?
I haven't got any.
Well, there must be somebody.
I want to make a fresh start in London.
Oh, that's easier said than done, I know, isn't it? Have a seat, go on then. Tea or coffee?
Tea, please. No sugar.
Hi, Lofty.
Well, I'll have 2 teas, one without, will you?
All right. Here, who's she, Lofty?
Her name is Annie.
Where'd you lap it up, mate?
I did not lap it up. I'm giving a young lady a lift down to Sheffield.
Thanks. She's a long way from home.
Just what I was thinking.
Don't let her give you any ideas, all right?
In my mind.
Good. Now, what do you want to eat?
Nothing, thanks. I'm not hungry.
It must be.
I'm not.
As you smoke then?
No, thanks.
That girl's got a real sad look about her. Here, she ain't in trouble, is she?
Oh, yeah.
Don't you go talking about a young lady like that, you.
Ever met anything?
Good for you.
How go, everybody? Turned out well again.
Hi, Alfie.
How go, mate? All right, Alfie?
Yeah.
Yeah. You might want to go check your load. It's an half-looking slack. Tea and a bit of cake, please, Flo.
Well, it won't be a moment. I shall just go and retie my load. You be all right now?
I'll be all right.
You're almost a stranger, Alfie.
You ain't back trucking, are you, Alfie?
Not bleeding likely. What in this get-up?
I never thought they'd get you in uniform.
Me? Uniform? Never, mate. Now, I'm doing a turn on a private eye firm, see? Been driving these Japanese fellas about. Playing bleeding golf, there was. Couldn't get the balls in the holes. Good tippers, though, mate.
Oh, Benny said he'd seen you working a bit of a smudge over the west.
Oh yeah, up at the Haymarket. Not a bad gaff, that.
What's the smudge this time?
The old street photographer's lark.
That's it. A bleeding rain killed it. Wait, who's the mystery, eh?
Oh, she's one big Lofty brought in.
Better watch out, Alfie. That's Lofty's bin. He lapped it up at Sheffield.
Ain't my kind, anyway. I reckon I'll have a tune, eh? Limey, they got some old ones, didn't they?
Yes.
Are you a big Lofty?
Yes, why?
He's a good geezer, is Lofty.
It seems nice.
You know what? He'll even lend you his last bag.
It does seem generous.
One geezer told me. He even lends his girlfriends to his mates. You know what? Someone told me he'll even lend you his wife, like the Eskimos do. I mean, I wouldn't like that. She's so bad-tempered.
I didn't know he was married.
Oh, he's got at least one wife. Long-distance lorry driver, see? Away from home every other night. Some blokes are funny, aren't they? I'd hate anything like that. Sharing a bird. I meant a woman, wouldn't you?
Yes.
So where are you making for?
Well, London.
Any particular part?
Not really, no. I thought I'd find a place and get a job if I could.
Yeah. I might be able to help you out.
Could I see you there?
I could drive you down there.
But I'm with...
I've got a car outside. Heater, radio, the lot.
I'd have to tell the driver when...
Blimey, don't take that risk, girl. He'll knock your block off. Mine and all. Here, you see that door? 50 yards down the road, there's a telephone box. Meet me there.
I don't like doing that.
You've got to look after yourself in this part of the world, girl. Nobody don't help you, you know. You ain't got to be frightened of me. I ain't a wolf, you know. I'll do you no harm. Now go on before he comes back. You don't want shaping, do you? What are you, Flo?
1 and a penny.
So,
You ain't going yet, Alfie.
you know what? I find I'm in a hurry all of a sudden.
Yeah, what about your piece of cake?
You better give that to Big Lofty, eh? So long.
Be seeing ya.
Take it easy. Did you see the way he lapped it up?
I can't see what they all see in him.
I bet old Lofty will go bloody mad when he comes back and find... Was your load all right, Lofty?
Yeah. She gone out to the,
Yes. She said for you not to expect her back and thanks for everything.
That bastard Alfie!
It ain't come up bad, has it? All it needed was a good wash and a bit of care and attention. It's quite dainty too, see? I no sooner take off a pair of socks than it washes them. Same with shirts. Sometimes it's a bit too quick. Mind you, it's turned this place into a little palace compared to what it used to be. It can cook and all. A bit limited on the menu. Goes in mainly for Lancashire hot pots and steak and kidney pie. They do blow you out a bit, but it makes a marvellous egg custard. I ain't never tasted nothing like it. Pretty fair on the other and all, if you know what I mean. Bit on the shy side, but I find that quite a nice change these days. Annie, turn it down, will you? See, love, see? Now, when it listens to that stuff, it daydreams that the bloke who once threw it over will one day want it back. What a bleeding hope, eh? It's a crumb of comfort, I suppose. Take some birds like that. Not all of them, mind. Here, I once had a bird, a big fat thing it was. Got lost in love or something. I mean, the heavier they are, the harder they fall. Used to sit in front of the fire all day, smoking fags and drinking tea. His bleeding shins burnt red raw. One time I says to it, "Oi, bracken shins!" Gives a cup of tea, will ya? She says, are you paralysed? Now I've soon got rid of that.
Are you going visiting your friends at sanatorium, Alfie?
Oh, Harry, yeah, I thought I would. Do you fancy a run out in the car?
I've some washing to do.
You've never done washing. Why don't you rest yourself, eh?
I feel better if I'm doing something, Alfie.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I ain't going to stop you. Punishes itself, see? That way life just can't get it the same. All this work to stop it thinking of him. Suits me. Give me a bird slaving away from me with another bloke on his mind, and a bird who won't stop telling you how much they love you, but can't plead and put the kettle on, you know what I mean?
What time shall I say you'll be back, Alfie?
You can say whatever you like, girl. Now, I told you, don't ask me that. When I go out the door, I don't know what day I'll be back, let alone what time. I'm what you call a free agent, see?
Sorry, Alfie, I just thought I'd have your meal ready.
Well, why don't you make one of them meals that's always ready? You know what I mean? Stew or ash or something?
I thought I'd do something special.
Yeah. It's only started asking me when I'll be back now. You know what? That little remark could be the writing on the wall. Annie, why don't you wear them gloves I bought you? You'll ruin your hands scrubbing away and whatnot.
Oh, they don't matter.
They might not matter to you, but they do to me. Here, nothing puts me off more than a bird getting hold of me with hard horny mitts. They're real pretty little fingers you've got there, girl. Like a child's. Look after them for me, eh? Sometimes it gets a dead ghostified look come over his face, see? As if it was sick inside with love or something. And its poor bleeding mind was stumbling about looking for a corner to rest in. Now last night, no, it must have been Friday, but we were together if you know what I mean. And I thought I saw a tear come down the side of her cheek. Now I took my hand from between the sheets and give her a quick belt across the kisser. After all, there's a proper time and place for everything. Even your thoughts have got their proper time and place. It must have given her a shock, see? I said, forget him, girl. I'm here, and I'm in the flesh. I mean, I don't mind up to a certain point, but after that, I can get quite touchy. Now, she looked dead guilty, she did. She said, sorry, Alfie. Blimey, you know what? I was sorry I spoke. I thought she's as human as you are. Right, girl, I'll be off. You want to give us a brush down?
Yes, sure. Shall I say you'll be back around 7, Alfie?
You can say whatever you like, girl, but whether I'll be back or not's another matter. You have something ready. If I'm here, I'll have it. If I ain't, I won't. You know what, Annie? You ain't a bad-looking girl, you know. Only you need to brighten yourself up a bit. It don't do to mope around depressed all the time. You've got to think of others in this life. So long, eh?
Take care of yourself, Alfie.
I didn't like going off and leaving her on a Sunday, scrubbing away and whatnot. But what can I do, eh? I could hardly take her with me. I'm off to visit Ruby. Now, she's a mature woman, see? She's about 35, or could even be 40. And top rate, I'd say. But quite mumsy up here, if you know what I mean. Here, when you get hold of Ruby, you definitely know you've got hold of something. And when she gets hold of you, you can feel a lifetime of experience between her fingers. You know what I mean? I find I'm going in more for that sort of girl nowadays. They're more appreciative. And they don't half go to town.
What are you so impatient about? What are you so impatient about?
What do you reckon, eh?
Don't kiss me on the ear.
What about it, eh?
You know what that does to me. Please give yourself a chance to get your jacket off.
I don't need to take my jacket off. Cool. I'll tell you what, I will have a drink first.
What will you have?
I don't know.
Well, make your mind up.
I'll have a whiskey.
A whiskey.
Here. You ain't got a beer, have you? A light ale or something?
I've got some canned beer in the fridge. I'll go and get you one.
She owns 3 hairdresser shops, see? Gets all this lot off her income tax. Business expenses. Here. Don't you dig your nails into my back like you did last Thursday. You left bleeding long scratches down my back.
I'll leave more than that down your back.
Bleeding great wheels there was. Dug her nails in, she did. She's had 2 husbands, both dead. And I've a good idea what they died of. She don't keep asking if you love her like these young birds do. You know what? She don't ever mention love. She knows what she wants. She's going to get it if there's any going, you know what I mean?
Here you are.
Cheers. Blimey, that beer in half cold.
It's lager. It's meant to be served cold.
You know what? I reckon them fridges, they taste the takes out of everything. Things taste more of cold than what they should taste of. Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't.
I mean, I need a drop of whiskey to warm me up now. You know what? I might settle down with her. With a wife like Ruby, you wouldn't want for nothing on the side. And she's in beautiful condition. I mean, I love women that wear fur coats and that.
Water?
Now, ginger ale if you've got it.
Do you think it's taking flowers to your girlfriends, Alfie?
Well, I often think of it, but never do it. Not unless they're in hospital.
Here, don't you put your cold glass on my polished table.
Don't you be so bleeding fussy, eh?
Language.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm not fussy.
You bleeding half fussy.
I'm not fussy.
She's in beautiful condition. You're a right little sexual, ain't you?
Oh, am I?
You're my little lust box.
Oh, am I?
Ah, blimey, girl. What have I told you about biting my ear, eh?
It wasn't, was it?
Not like last week, eh?
You mean last Saturday?
Yeah.
So what happened then, Sharpie?
Where'd I get to?
Well, about Benny.
Well, you know little Benny?
Yeah.
Well, this little Benny gets his wagon and load knocked off while he's in this caff at Barnet. It's past midnight before the police let him go, so he decides to go back home. Know what? He only finds his missus in bed with his shunt.
Nah. Oh, so what did he do then?
Who?
Benny.
Benny?
Yeah, Benny.
What can he do? This geezer's twice his size. And his missus must be 12 stone.
Well, I'd have hit him over the head. With a bleeding hammer.
What good would that have done? Anyway, he's got 5 kids. They've got to be looked after.
So, what do you do?
When this bloke gets out and goes, he gets in beside her. I mean, what else can he do? Hey, Alfie.
Oh,
What are you having?
Do us a light ale, will you?
Here, Alfie, you going round the club late, about 3?
I might have an ale there, yeah.
Here, you did say a light ale, Alfie.
Hello, Flo, what are you doing here?
Oh, this is my night job, Alfie.
Cheers.
Oh,
Cheers.
thanks, Alfie. You got your car outside, Alfie?
Yeah, he can drive us round the club later.
You know what? I don't think I'm going to go to the club after all.
Oh, come off it, mate. You said you would.
I've got a little bird staying from the north at mine. She can half cook, mate.
What's bleeding cooking got to do with it?
Oh, she don't like it if he don't get home for his meals, do you?
Nah. She makes some really handsome nosh-ups, she do. Steak and kidney pie and whatnot. I bloody love her cooking.
Thought you was looking a bit blown out, eh, Flo?
What do you mean blown out?
I was only saying you look a bit blown out. Don't he, Flo?
Oh, he certainly put some fat on.
I ain't.
Well, looks like way to me, mate. You've done it, Flo.
Well, I'll tell you I ain't, all right?
It's Just the appearance, see, Alfie?
What appearance, eh?
He just doesn't suit you.
What don't bloody suit me, eh?
This ponsified look you got.
What ponsified look?
Well, you look all puffed out.
Well, I ain't bleeding puffed out, you get me? You know what? I've never felt fitter in all my life.
Look, he's not saying you don't look fit, Alfie. What he's saying is that with this tight collar and all that, you look a bit
Blown out.
Well, I ain't bleeding blown out, you get me?
Don't get all excited, mate.
I ain't excited, alright?
I was only saying you look different, don't he, Flo?
Well, what's bleeding different about me, eh?
No, I ain't saying you ain't looking well, Alfie. What I was saying was you was looking blown out.
Well, I ain't bleeding blown out, you get me? Fill him up again, Flo.
That Annie of yours, she's putting a block on you, mate, and you can't see it.
She's only looking after me.
Yeah, it looks that way to me.
Well, I'll tell you, she's only looking after me, alright?
12 months' time, you won't recognise yourself. You'll be stuffed to the ears with that bleeding hot pot.
Well, yeah, that's what they all say, looking after you. Yeah, that's what they all say, these women, when they're trying to put the block on a bloke. Don't you know that, mate? You nit.
Yes, she's softening you up, mate, ready for the kill.
Here's your drinks, Alfie.
Best of health, mate.
Ponsified. Me?
You, Alfie, you forgot your chain.
That ain't like you, Alfie.
He ain't got his wits about him these days.
Hello, Lofty, what's it to be?
I want a black guitar.
I'll go, mate.
I thought it was you. Do you remember that night that you popped into Flo's cafe?
Which night was that, eh?
A couple of weeks back. You was wearing a chauffeur's uniform.
Oh yeah, wet night, was it?
You don't happen to recall, do you, whether you happened to slope off with a little girl called Annie out of Sheffield, do you? When my back was turned.
Annie, I don't know what you're talking about, mate.
You are a bloody liar.
So long, chaps.
I will get you, Alfie, one way or the other!
Yeah, it's me, late, ain't I? Start rocking me, eh?
Your dinner's ready.
You ain't made another bleeding hot pot again, have you?
No, it's a steak and kidney pie.
Oh, it's the same thing, ain't it?
No, there's all the difference in the world.
Look, it's the same as all of them North Country dishes. A bleeding blower-outer, ain't it? Can't we have something out of the can for a change? I used to get some relads and nosh-ups out of cans. Spam and that.
Yo, I said you like my steak and kidney pie.
Look, if I were to get that lot on top of a skinful of ale, I'll hardly be able to draw my bleeding breath. I'll get the horrible feeling of being full up, blown out, ponsified.
You used to say you loved that feeling of being really full.
Well, what I once loved and what I now love are two very different things. Here. Where's my striped shirt, eh?
The blue one?
No,
I was
I
gonna... Oh, well, I washed that. It'll soon be dry.
What'd you wash it for? I only wore it a couple of hours.
Thought it'd feel fresher for you.
You know what, I do believe you only wash things to fill your bleeding time.
Oh, why should I?
To get him out of your mind, eh? That Tony you write about in your stupid diary.
Alfie, have you been in my bag and read my diary?
Why shouldn't I, eh?
Well, you shouldn't, because them's my secret thoughts.
You ain't entitled to your secret thoughts, not when you're living with me.
Everybody's entitled to their secret thoughts.
Well, you ain't entitled to write them down and let me see them.
I only wrote them down to get them out of me.
I'll show you what I think about your bloody secret thoughts. And your steak and kidney pie. Don't say nothing that don't belong to you.
Don't let your custard spoil. It's in the oven.
Annie! Oh, come back, Annie! Annie! I do believe that deep down, every bloke has an out of the street in him, see? Mind you, I had to do it. She was getting me all domestified, see? And I don't believe in letting anyone change my nature. You're a dead man if you do. Mind you, I was dead choked when I got that custard out of the oven. It was a good 10 minutes before I could get down to scoffing it. Here, I've got a bird coming round, but you'll never guess who it is. She was too good for me, was Annie. Toiling away like she did made me feel uncomfortable at times. I mean, deep down in his own heart, every bloke knows what a rotten bleeder he is. He don't want to keep getting reminded of it by somebody doing good around him, does he? Oh, come here, girl. Blimey, you are early.
I didn't want to be late. Is he coming?
Yeah, he'll be here about 2.
Can I go?
Here's your coat, eh? Blimey, your hands are half cold. You ain't worried, are you?
A bit.
You look all dark under the eyes.
I couldn't sleep last night.
Well, it's through them. You can get ready where you like, eh?
Thanks.
Yeah. Lily. Old Harry's wife. And I thought I was getting something for nothing here. Don't never work out that way. You know what? It was that Sunday when I went to visit him at the sanatorium, see? And he weren't feeling so good. So he asked me if I'd give her a lift home. Now, she didn't want to come. And I didn't want to take her. But we both agreed to please him, see? Now, she looked real ribby, she did. So I drove the roundabout way by the river. Then, more for Harry's sake than hers, I asked if she wanted some tea. Now, I drove up to one of these big hotels that has the lawns running down the side. And tables and that. And I quite like anything like that. Now, over our tea, old Harry's wife starts feeding the birds and ducks. And I spot a nice little smile coming to the corner of her mouth. I was quite touched, I was, by that smile of hers. And I thought, blimey girl, you ain't so ugly after all. Now, after our tea, we took a nice little walk, see, and sat down in a little secluded spot by the river. Then I started talking about how Harry used to be on visiting days. And she starts sobbing, see? And I see I've said the wrong thing. So I put my arm around her. And she was all shaking underneath. Then just because she's a woman, and women expect to be kissed at a time like that, I kissed her. Now it started off as a kiss on the cheek, see? And then it worked its way around to a full kiss on the lips. And then I thought, what harm could it do, eh? Old Harry will never know. And even if he did, he'd no right to begrudge me. All right, come to that. It'll round the tea off quite nicely. And after all, it cost me 11 and 6. Not to mention the extra petrol. Anyway, afterwards, she tries to come to, what will you think of me like? So I cut her short. I said, now I quite enjoyed that. If you enjoy something, show a bit of appreciation, see? Now she was surprised to see me so chirpy afterwards. And I said, here, I bet you ain't been with many blokes except for Harry. She says, I ain't been with a single one. Excepting me, I tells her. Now afterwards, I dropped her home in the car, and that was my good deed done for the day. Now I thought that was something I got for nothing. But it don't ever work out that way. My problem is, I ain't never learned how to refuse something for nothing. Even if I don't want it. Now, a few months later, I get a letter signed Lily. I thought, what the bleeding hell's Lily? Now, she says it's urgency, and she's worried about her mother-in-law, who only lives 100 yards down the road. Now, she couldn't have been more buggered if she'd have done a murder, because there was no way out for her, see? I says, what you worrying about? Old Harry will forgive you for telling the truth. And she says, it ain't just him. It's his mum and all their relations. They'll all know that while he was on his poor back in that sanatorium, she was having it away. Here, it does seem that little life of hers is going to come to an end. All because of 3 minutes on the grass on a Sunday afternoon where she forgot herself. I'm glad I ain't got no relations, so I can live my life as it comes and goes. But I agreed to help her, to lay it all on, see? Now, I bet that's the bloke now, the medical practitioner as they calls him. Oi, Lily, he's here! The tailoring bloke's here now. You got the money, girl?
Yes. Yes, I've got it already. Here you are.
Now, you keep hold of it, eh? He might have more mercy for a woman. Here. Remember what we talked about? This ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm only helping you out as a friend, see? That put me in the clear. Come in, mate. Here we are.
What do you mean, here we are?
I mean, you're at the right place. This is the young lady I spoke to you about on the phone.
Pleased to meet you.
Ain't you got your gear with you?
Don't ask questions.
Alright. I'll show you to the room then, where you can examine this young lady.
And why should I examine this lady?
Well, you got to, ain't you? Before you do it.
Before I do what?
Before you do what you come to do, you know.
I know what.
Quiet, Alfie, there must be some mistake.
You are the geezer. You are the gentleman I spoke to on the phone last
Alfie,
Thursday,
be
ain't
quiet,
you?
do.
Don't worry, my dear. Now, I must have a serious talk with you both. Are the two of you married?
Us two married. Blimey, do we look it? I mean, she's a married woman, but I'm a single man, see?
Do you have any plans to marry in the future?
I shouldn't have thought so. What do you reckon, Lily?
But you are the putative father.
The what? Me? I'm nothing, see? I'm just obliging as her friend.
Most unusual. Most.
You are the man who was going to help me.
Her old man, well, he's in the sanatorium, see? And she's had a moral lapse, if you see what I mean.
I'm not sure that I do.
It won't never happen again. And the reason she needs helping is because her marriage were to look quite dodgy if her husband were to come out at this stage of the game. She's got 3 other kids and all.
And where do you come into this?
Well, I'm just obliging as her friend, see? She'd no place to go.
Most altruistic. Most. Now, I hope that you both realise the seriousness of this case. To terminate a pregnancy after more than 28 days is a criminal offence punishable in a court of law by 7 years imprisonment. Do you understand this?
I see what you mean.
Not only that, but it is a crime against the unborn child. It is not a course to be embarked upon lightly. Therefore, I must ask both of you to consider all the circumstances very carefully before you go through with your decision. Because afterwards, it will be too late to change your mind. Now, have you given the matter your fullest consideration?
What do you reckon, Lily?
I've no way out.
And you wish to go through with it?
Yes, I must.
Well, then I might be able to help you.
Thank you.
Now, have you got the money?
The money, yeah. The young lady has it.
Well, it'll be £30.
Nah, 25. Yeah, that's what I understood.
Very well, give me 25.
Here, Lily. You've only got 20, now 21 in. I could give you the rest tomorrow, mate. Alright. I'll make it up.
Very well then. Show me the room.
It's just through this way.
And I shall need some boiling water.
Alright.
Come along, my dear.
Life gets a bit too much, eh? You keep spitting a bit out here and there, and the next thing, a lump gets stuck in your gizzard. What about him in there, though? He's a right taker on. Did you hear him preach a fine? A crime against the unborn child? Examine your consciences. Oh, have you got a lolly ready? Oh no, 20 nickel won't do it. It'll have to be 25. He was scrubbing away his hands for a good 10 minutes, he was. I hate anything like that. I mean, my understanding of women only goes as far as the pleasure sea. When it comes to the pain, I'm like every other bloke. I don't want to know.
Say, could you make some tea?
Alright. He only wants tea on a bleeding job now. He can have champagne the way he's being paid. Kettle's on. Won't be a minute.
Well, I shan't be staying. It's for the young lady.
Why not? Here, have you done?
As much as I can do, yes.
Well, can she go home yet?
Goodness gracious, no. Don't you understand? It's only been induced, it hasn't happened yet. That is to come. Now, should her temperature rise rapidly, give her 2 of these tablets. I will leave you 6.
Well, how will I know, eh?
And if she starts to sweat, give her 2.
Here. I think you should stay and finish it through, eh? Especially seeing as what you've been paid.
I knew that your attitude would change before I left. People like you go down on their knees to me when I arrive. But as soon as I've performed my task, they alter. They hate the sight of me.
Do it surprise you?
No, nothing surprises me anymore. 2 if she sweats.
Here. You know what he was up to when he gave us that spiel about a course never to be embarked upon lightly? Examine your consciences. He was preparing his case, in case anything went wrong and he found himself in front of a judge. He was bloody word perfect. I bet he says that to every house he goes to. How you feeling, girl? Here. If your temperature goes up, you take 2 of these. Do you want sugar? He went off at the right time, eh? Didn't he get his money easy?
I owe you £4.
You owe me nothing.
Take that in my bag.
If you insist, I'll take it. But I'd rather you didn't. He went off at the right time, didn't he? I'd hate for anything to happen here. I'd be in the cart proper. What was it he said? 7 years? Come on, girl. Shh. Shh. Shh.
I can't help it, you fool! Don't you understand? I'm in pain! I can't help it!
You were getting hysterical! If my landlady were to hear, she'd have ambulance here, police, 5 minutes flat. Then all this would have been for nothing. You would have been caught, and so would I. You understand why I did it, don't you? Here, you was getting hysterical. You sounded like a wild animal.
You're not leaving me!
You'll be better off on your own. Don't look at me like that. Here, I could stay here and flatten you down, but where would it get you, eh? You've got to look after yourself in this life. Here, if you feel like crying out, put a pillow over your face, eh? I'll lock you in. Hurry! I didn't like going off and leaving her like that. But that din was getting on my nerves, see? I know it don't look pretty. But what do look pretty when you get up close to it, eh? I was away about an hour. With my thoughts and whatnot. And when I got back, it was dead silent, see? And the first thought I had was that Lily might have snuffed it. I must admit, I was glad to see she hadn't. I'd have been in real trouble if anything would have happened here. She said nothing. I don't suppose there's much you can say at a time like that. So I went into the next room, see, because behind my mind was the thought I didn't want no evidence lying around. Now I've got the shock of my life when I come up against it. I mean, all I expected to see was... Come to think of it, I don't know what I expected. But not this. This beautifully formed little being. He'd have been quite perfect. I half expected him to cry out. But he couldn't have done. He never had any life in him. Not real life. But he must have had some life. The way he lay there. So perfect. So human. I thought, you know what? I'm your dad. It's funny I should think that, but it's exactly what I did think. I'm your dad, and I'm one of them that's done this to you. But it don't half bring it home what you are when you see a little thing like that. I thought you murdered him, Alfie. Now, as I was getting rid of it, I started praying. I started saying words like, God and Christ help me. And then the next thing, I started crying, see? Straight up. Tears coming out of my eyes as if I were a child myself. It weren't for me I was crying. He was past it, wasn't he? So I goes into the next room, put my head under the cold tap and had a good old solution of carbolic soap so the tears wouldn't show, see? And as I was drying myself, a funny thing happened. I thought I could hear a baby crying, see? But there was no baby in sight. I thought it might have been coming from out the window. So I closed it tight, but it kept on. Then I thought it might have been water in the pipes, but it weren't. It was in my imagination, see? So I went next door to Lily. And the whole thing seemed to have, well, drawn me to her some way. I guess you understand how women feel, eh? Alright, that's that job done. If you're ready, I'll drop you home, girl.
As soon as I go alone.
You will go alone if you say that again.
Yes.
Fine by me. Get a bus from Waterloo or the Green Line all the way. Here. I've got a present for your Phil.
To who?
Phil. The youngest of you on, that writes them squiggly letters, see?
What is it?
Want to see? Got it for a child I used to know. Come on, Matt. I will take you home after all, eh? Tell him it's from his Uncle Tom. I'm definitely going to settle down with this Ruby bird. I've had enough of being on the move. You know what? I'm not stalking these young birds like I used to. Ruby's always got plenty of food and drinking, but some of these young uns, they can't even offer you a glass of Lucozade. I find I'm going in more for luxury these days. She must be in. I can hear that bleeding radio. Hello, Ruby. It's only me, girl, Alfie. Alright, I don't want to come in, eh? But you ain't feeling all that queer you can't accept some flowers. Flowers off me, eh? Not bleeding lightly. Open the door, eh?
Hello, Alfie. I've had an attack of migraine. My poor head, it's splitting.
Alright, don't worry. I don't want to come in. Anyway, I hate birds with headaches. Here you are.
Oh, Alfie. What a nice thought. I never thought I'd see the day.
I like surprising a woman. Here. Hey, look at the wrapping on those. They ain't off a barrier, you know.
I can see that, Alfie. You're lovely.
Right. I'll be off. You take some Aspros, girl, alright?
Ring me in the morning.
I'll call round about lunch. We can have a session.
Good idea. I'll be right back then.
Alright, I'll be off.
Alfie, sorry about the headache. I'll make up for it. Lovely flowers.
Here.
What's up?
You've not been asleep in there with the radio on now, have you?
Of course I have.
You know what? I can smell cigar smoke.
What about it? You can't.
Here. You've got a geezer in there with you, ain't you?
Oh, me? I haven't.
I honestly thought you had a headache. What's a mug I've grown into, eh?
Don't make such wrong accusations. You're only making my headache
Here,
worse.
I'm telling you, you've got a bleeding geezer in there with you, ain't you?
I tell you, I'm alone.
And I tell you, I can smell his bleeding cigar smoke.
Go away or I'll call the porter.
Talking about calling for the porter. It's you, Alfie.
Big lofty, you.
You bloody fool. Who told you to come out?
I just told myself.
Well, tell your bleeding self to get the hell back inside.
Don't be like that, Ruby. What's the trouble, Alfie?
You're the bloody trouble, you damn fool. Get inside.
Don't talk like that, girl.
Get inside.
Ask him in. Can't you see the man's upset? Come in, Alfie. Look, there's plenty to drink.
No.
Come on in.
No, you can't.
Why not? There's nothing we can't sort out, Alfie.
Perhaps he does have more.
Of course he was. Oh, don't take it like that, Alfie. Oh. I hate to see a man upset. Know just how he feels, though.
And I just got in trained. Go on in, you bleeding great nit.
I went after her, Manny. Although it's nice to know she had some. So look at me now, eh? I've got a bob or two, some decent clobber, my own car, and my health back. But I ain't got my peace of mind. And if you ain't got that, you got nothing. I've learned a few lessons as far as birds go. About never taking flowers, especially if you ain't expected. And don't get yourself too attached. When I look back at my little life and think of some of the birds I've known, I think of all they've done for me and what little I've done for them. And it couldn't have cost me more if I'd have given them everything I ever had. So what's it about, eh? That's what I keep asking myself. Oi! Hello, silly.
Hello, Alfie.
I ain't seen you in ages, girl.
You never turned up.
I can explain that. You've been half looking cracking. Here, where are you off to?
Nowhere special.
I've got a car here, what'd you say?
I'm not sure.
Come on, girl, here. It's lovely material you got here. Of course. You always was a snazzy dresser, weren't you? Now come on, what'd you say?
I suppose I might as well. Have you got your napkin?
Like the Boy Scouts, innit? Always prepared, eh? So I suppose I've got to sweat it out one way or another. God knows how long it'll take, but I've got to suffer it through. What's it all about, eh?
What's it all about, Alfie? Is it just for the moment we live? What's it all about when you started out, Alfie? Are we meant to take more than we give? Or are we meant to be kind? And if only fools are kind, Alfie, then I guess it is wise to be cruel. And if life belongs only to the strong, Alfie, what will you lend on an old golden rule? As sure as I believe there's a heaven above, Alfie, I know there's something much more, something even non-believers can't believe in. I believe in love, Alfie. Without true love, we just exist, Alfie, until you find the love you miss. You're nothing, Alfie. When you walk, let your heart lead the way, then you'll find love any day, Alfie.
Now what? He only finds his missus in bed with his shunter.
Nah. Oh, so what did he do then?
Who?
Benny.
Benny?
Yeah, Benny.
Who?
Benny.
Benny?
Yeah, Benny.
Who?
Benny.
Benny?
Yeah, Benny.
What can he do? This geezer's twice his size. And his missus must be 12 stone.
Well, I'd have hit him over the head.